This week in comic books, we get a bunch of Christmas stories. Gotta love that time of year. And we get a bunch of supposedly all new stories, but they're not really. We're going to talk about some of that. But first, I'm going to hit you with a bumper. Check this out. So first, kicking off the favorites list, we got the Batman Smells and Robin Lays and Eggs DC Christmas special, and I enjoyed this. I thought this was fun. I thought it was entertaining. There's a lot of cool stories in here, about 8 total. Yeah, the Joker one was a little hit or miss for me, but the rest of them are pretty solid. Even the John Constantine story where they kind of stick their nose up at the Christmas spirit. But for the most part, you're going to get some heartwarming stories in here of just heroes learning what it is to be Christmas and even some villains. So yeah, this definitely is a must-read for the Christmas season. I absolutely enjoyed this. Absolute Superman. So this popped off this week. I'm going to be honest with you, it's still on the I like this list. But it was kind of, it's waning a little bit. Like the only thing that's really keeping this going, I hate to say this, it's not really the story. It's really the artwork and the story that the artwork tells in it more than the actual words in it. It's kind of waning off a little bit. But like we're really kind of heavily focused on this. Trying to change Lois Lane's mind that Superman is really a good guy in this because she's an agent now for this horrible, horrible corporation. A lot of corruption, greed, that kind of thing, and putting their thumb down on the little man. Normally, I would like these stories, right? But we're in issue 2. I'm not sure how many issues this is, but it's time to break loose and beat up the bad guys now. Holiday Tales to Astonish. This is Marvel's rendition of a Christmas story. It's Christmas special, if you will. And this is fun. Little Katie Pryde story in here about different events that she was a part of throughout X-Men history and how she kind of kept things of a more sentimental value to give to people at Christmas time. I thought that was fantastic, smart, kind of related to some of the older stories in it and as well as some of the newer stories that have happened during the Krakoa era. Great Fantastic Four story in here as well about being naughty at Christmas time. Don't be naughty. And then great Miles Morales story in here as well with him and Peter Parker. Again, 3 solid stories in it. I wish for the price that it was, you got as many stories you did for the DC one, but it is what it is. Cruel Universe. Again, I've been loving these little anthology stories. Cruel Universe has been kind of hit or miss for me, to be honest. I really like Epithets of the Abyss, but this one right here was pretty solid. I enjoyed this. A lot of cool stories in there about how, what is it? The fad of the day being greed, right? Whether it's from the 80s or today or whatever the case may be, doesn't necessarily make you an expert in the future when things are about to happen. I thought that was a great moral story in here. And your usefulness, is not always to chase a dollar or to corrupt everything around you. I thought that was a great story. Definitely in tune for the season in a very weird way. Unfortunately, that means we got to talk about the bad list. All new Venom number 1. So who is Venom is kind of the preface of this. Is it one of 4 people? And the truth is, who cares at this point? Who cares? It's not, Eddie Brock anymore. But we've kind of had this story before with who is Venom's host. And it's been, Flash. It's been Eddie Brock, Dylan Brock. It's always something new. And then the big mystery is, who is it? Who is it? And the truth is, do we really care? Like, the 4 characters that they've picked to possibly be this all-new Venom are characters we do not care about. We just, they're small and insignificant characters, right? It's like You purposely picked the NPCs to be Venom now of their own book, and it's just not good. And there's courtroom drama. I hate courtrooms. With that said, Two-Face, all new, all in, Two-Face, and it's not. It's the same story. It's the same story. They're just doing the same thing again. The big thing with Harvey Dent, especially in more modern times, has been his constant battle with himself and his two personalities that kind of fit in him, right? The wild gangster and the good guy lawyer, and they're constantly at battles with one another. And it's constantly just a mental argument. I just don't find this interesting. And then you throw in an underworld courtroom on top of it where everything's kind of skewed and it's basically just a glorified kangaroo court. Kind of defeats the whole Harvey Dent being a good lawyer thing, right? Because the court system's a joke in the criminal world. So that's not significant. Like, there's nothing. You've read this story. If you've read anything with Harvey Dent in the last 10 years, you've already know this story. It's not, we'll drop in that. So, yeah. So that's my comic book haul and review for this week. Definitely, what did you pick up? What did you read? What am I missing? Or maybe you have a different take on these comic books. I would love to know what those are. Definitely let me know down below. Always happy to have a civilized conversation about it. And until next week, my grandson's calling me, and I have tried recording this 4 times now. So I'm going to go take care of him. We're going to go hang out and do some Christmas shopping. And I hope you all have a wonderful holiday season. We'll see you soon. Bye.